Hello and what is up guys, my name is Yugioh from SCREENCASTERS and I'm coming to you now with an update to my Plant Princess deck to the channel. It has been a very long time since I've done a deck profile of my Plant Princess on the channel. I thought now would be the best time to do so. Been a long time obviously, so there have been a ton of changes. One thing I do want to stress is that this deck isn't going to be very meta. It's more so of a fun deck for locals, so please take that with a grain of salt. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, we're doing 2 Taliyah. Taliyah is really good. She's basically the best plant princess. When she's on the field, all your other ones can't be destroyed by card effects, which is very nice. And if you got 2 of them, that means none of them can be destroyed by card effects, including herself, because she doesn't protect herself unless you got 2 of them, which is a reoccurring theme. But she's the only one I play 2 of. Most of the time, you use them as rank 8s. Or just leave them on the field to protect yourself, but they're very good for what they're there for. Basically the pseudo boss monsters of the deck. We're doing 1 Cherubime and 1 Titanial. Cherubime, if you're going for more defensive play, this is the one you're going to be bringing back most of the time with your Lone Fire Blossom, so bear that in mind. Titanial is good if you don't know what you're going against, although most of the time we go for Cherubime for more defense. One of the locks you can do is have a Cherubime and a Taliyah on the field, because basically she's the only one they can target for attacks. And this one will make sure you don't auto-lose to Regeki, so that's another thing. Titanial is really good, you tribute a plant, and they just can't be targeted, so that's it for the big monsters of the deck. For the other plants, we're running 3 Lone Fire Blossom. Because Lone Fire is pretty self-explanatory, you're running an all-plant deck, and Lone Fire helps tutor them out. It helps you summon your big plant princesses for free, so that's something. And for the melee targets, we got 1 Dandelion and 1 Arrow Mage Kanaga. It really does suck that we don't have 2 Dandelions, but since it's still on one of the ban lists, hopefully we get it soon. But the reason I run Kanaga is for a few reasons. Basically, it really does suck if you draw into your Dandy, because most of the time you want to use your Lone Fire to get into her and tutor her from deck. But if you do draw into her, having a Kanaga in deck is still very useful because it's a level 3 Earth plant, which means you can use it as fodder to make your Melee, because Melee takes 2 level 3 Earth monsters, and since this is a plant, means it's also tutorable with your Lone Fire Blossom, so it's really good. I like this card, but the reason you run it is because you need another Dandelion in deck. For level 1 tuners, we got 1 Copy Plant, 1 Spore, and 1 Glow Up Bulb, and for last of the plants, we got 1 Rose Lover. I actually really like Rose Lover. The problem is that drawing multiples does suck, and one of the worst plays you can do is just start your turn and set a Rose Lover. It's just really sad because Rose Lover is really good. So she's basically one of the other ways you can get your big plant princesses out of your hand, because you can banish her from the graveyard to special summon them from the hand, and they're unaffected by traps too, which is really good. But if you ever draw into this or multiples, it's just really bad. Ideally you want to dump this with like your Melee or something like that, but it's really good. It's also nice synchro fodder with your level 1 tuners. You go into Formula Synchron, which means you can draw a card and then banish this from grave to basically summon your big plants and do stuff. But it's really nice. I like the card, but I only play 1 because I don't want to see multiples of it. As for level 1 tuners, they're really good. One cool play you can do is use your Copy Plant to copy the levels of one of your plant princesses. They'll both be level 8, and you can go into Titanic Galaxy or Felgrand or whatever you feel the need for that situation. But that's it for the plants of the deck. For the other monsters, we got 3 Spell Striker and 1 Marauding Captain. Both of these are really good for your rank 3 plays, mainly for Melee, but you can also go into other stuff, but they're really good. They're rotor searchable and the level 3 Earth, which means you can use them to go into your Melee. So that's it for the main deck monsters. For the last of them, of course, the obligatory 2 Max C, because your deck kind of wants to go first, but sometimes if you gotta go second, it's really nice to get those draws because your deck is very slow, so sometimes getting those extra draws are very integral to your strategy. So that's it for the monsters. On for the spells. 3 Monster Reborn. Basically, Miracle Fertilizer is amazing. It's basically Monster Reborn on crack. It does take your normal summon, which is pretty huge, but you can definitely get around that in this deck. You got Instant Fusion, you got Spell Striker, you got all these ways. You even got Rose Lover to go into your Dandelion from hand. There's a lot of really cool plays that get around your normal summon, so losing your normal summon isn't that bad at all in this deck. Basically use this to get back your Lone Fire and recycle it, and if that monster stays on the field, like say you bring back your Cherubime and she stays, you can use this your next turn as long as you don't use your normal summons, which is not a problem for us at all. So it's really good, and I don't see no reason not to play 3 of it. 3 Super Solar Nutrient because you run a lot of level 1s, especially the tuners. Sending them to grave is not a bad thing at all. You can even use this on the Dandelion tokens and go into Lone Fire, which is awesome. Basically your 4th, 5th, and 6th Lone Fires. It's almost always live, no reason not to play it. Then we're doing 3 Instant Fusion. Basically for your Fusionist, you basically activate this, go into your Fusionist from the extra deck. It's a level 3 Earth, which means whatever you have, as long as you have a level 3 Earth in hand, you can go into Melee, and Melee is your power play. It's basically your better Levolvo chain, which is awesome. I love that it's not generic, which means it's less likely to get hit on any ban list, so it's always going to be live, and this card's really amazing. You need to go into your Fusionist whenever you can. This is Melee Turbo, and it's one of the best ways to go into it. And then 2 Twin Twister, because your deck loses to back row. This is kind of a reoccurring thing with my decks. We can't deal with back row for some reason, so since this is a very combo-based deck, you want to snipe it when you can. You can lose very easily to a well-timed Fiendish Chain or Breakthrough Skill or Solemn, so sniping it preemptively is not a bad idea sometimes. And there are a ton of 1-ubs. The Soul Charge, the 1-for-1, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Regeki, 1 Day of Peace, and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. These cards all have their own purpose. 1 Day of Peace is your draw power, Reinforcement to go into your Spell Strike or any of your Rotting Captains, Regeki for board wipe, Foolish Burial to get whatever you need, send your Rose Lover if you got some of your Plant Princess in hand, or send your Dandelion to get the tokens if you got a dead Super Solar Nutrient, which helps you get into Lone Fire. 1-for-1 helps you go into Copy Plant, which is your rank 8 play with any of your Plant Princess, and Soul Charge is just broken with your Lone Fire. So that's it for the spells. On for the last traps. And last, the main deck. 3 Polynosis and 1 Solemn Warning. This is an amazing card. It's a counter trap, which means it's hard to chain to. Basically, if a monster will be normal or special summoned, or when a spell or trap is activated, negate and destroy by tributing a plant. This works amazingly with the Dandelion tokens, because they can't be used for a tribute summon, but they can be tributed for other things. The only thing Polynosis does not stop is monster effects, that's why I am considering putting strikes whenever I can find the time to buy them, but 1 warning does the job too against everything else. So basically your 4th Polynosis, and these are basically 4 warnings. So that's it for the main deck. On for the extra deck. We're starting with 2 Melee. This card is amazing. It is way better than the Levolvo chain in this deck because it's so accessible. Basically, if you don't know what this card is, once per turn you can attach a material, and then you can either send 1 plant from your deck to the graveyard or target 1 plant in your graveyard and special summon it. That is not a hard once per turn, so if you have multiples you can use both effects, which is awesome. So what I tend to do if I don't have my Lone Fire, I make the first Melee, dump it, then make a second Melee, and then bring back that Lone Fire, then overlay the 2 for F0, and then there's your Dark Destroyer out basically. It's really nice, it's a nice play, and you can do it very easily with the way this deck is built. But this deck revolves around this card. This card is amazing. You don't need 3 because the extra deck is very tight. It's just really good. Like, there's no reason not to play this card in any plant deck that can make it. So that's it for Melee. Really good card. 1 Alucard because I don't have a Grand Pulse yet, as it came into Mel yet, so you know, you can take him out for a Grand Pulse, but I like Alucard sometimes. He's really nice and he's shiny, I guess. But 1 Nightmare Shark, rounding out the rank 3s. You don't go into him too often. I was playing a Mech Whipped Engineer, but I did cut it for space for a second Fusionist. But Nightmare Shark can steal games, and Alucard can pop back row, just like Grand Pulse can. But there's that. For the rank 8s, we got 1 Titanic Galaxy, 1 Heliopolis, 1 Divine Dragonite Felgrant, and 1 Lancelot. These are the only ones you can be going into. I know there's other ones like Alcei and like Giant Grinder, but these are the ones you'll be going into most of the time. Lancelot's actually surprisingly useful. Just doing that 2000 poke and then popping a monster is really nice. He negates anything once. However, he does work on your turn too, so if you activate something first, he's gonna negate that. It's a really skillful card, and that's what I really like about him. Felgrand, Heliopolis, and 38, they're just really good cards and really useful in the situations that you make them, and very easy to make with your Copy Plant or any 2 Plant Princesses. For last XYZ is 1 F0. He's a really nice card. He's taking your opponent's big monster. He's your out to Dark Destroyer. Just attacking them with it is really nice. For the Synchros, you got 1 Formula Synchron, 1 Chumbara, which is just amazing, 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and 1 Gigantic Castle. These are the ones you'll be going into. I know you could fit other ones, but some of them just aren't as good as they could be. But these are the ones I find myself making. Formula Synchron for the draw, Chumbara for the OTK, Clearwing for an extra level of protection, and Gigantic Castle if anything bad happens to my Plant Princesses and I gotta synchro them out. So it's really nice. And last, the main deck, the 2 instant fusion targets, the 2 Fusionists. The reason why you play this is a level 3 Earth that can be brought out with instant fusion. So that's something. You can also tech in a Norden to bring back any of your level 1 tuners to make more stuff. but it's just extra deck is still really tight right now. So that is it for my Plant Princess deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a really fun deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave it in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. And as with all my deck profiles, there's a huge list of tech cards that you can try out for the deck yourself in the description box down below. So if you guys want to see those tech cards, just check out the description. There'll be a huge list there for you guys to see. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, which is Screencasters, for more epic and amazing videos similar to this one. Once again, my name is Yugioh, and from Screencasters, I'm signing out.